Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Speakeasy. I am Srethne, and every episode I bring on a comic from all over the country to interview them during these times. And since I can't go on tour because of these times, I wanted to go and interview them, but this is like the next best thing. So, with that being said, we like comedy clubs are going to open up soon. Most of them, anyways, at full capacity, and I want to get them prepared for their social media numbers up, and I want to raise funds for them because a lot of them are out of work and all that stuff. And we're also raising funds for our favorite non-profits and charities with these episodes. So, without further ado, coming to the stage all the way from Alabama, Ryan D. Adams. Hey, Ryan, how are you?
Hey, what's up? How's it going? Thanks for
I'm
having me, man.
You're welcome. Thanks for being my guest today. It means a lot.
Oh, thanks, man. Thanks for having me. The honor is really mine, really. Anything,
Awesome.
a- anyone willing to allow me on their platform deserves some praise.
Awesome. Yeah, it's been a joy so far. I mean, it's just I love this. You know, there's that silver lining in all of this, and I found it, and I'm so happy that I did. And helping fellow comics is what I love doing. So, especially the
That's
up and coming ones.
that's been so interesting to see out of this whole mess that's been going on is like all the different ways people have found to connect and really kind of continue doing this. It's inspiring. I love
Absolutely
it actually.
awesome, awesome. So, um, you Ryan, you play on a shifty bard on the Four Orbs podcast, and what's it like on the Four Orbs podcast? How do you link
Okay,
up the whole story?
so that whole thing began really in middle to high school with just a certain group of friends I had. Like we just kind of all grew up together, and our one friend Dave, he got really into Dungeons and Dragons, D&D, and he kind of created his own universe, really, that we just kind of all played like different story arcs in the same universe as we grew up. And maybe 4 or 5 years ago, he decided, hey, let's just start a podcast. I'm gonna flesh the world out. You guys make some characters, and we're gonna really do this thing. Like really put money behind it, make it a big production. And uh, there was an episode recently where he hired like professional voice actors to like really make things. It's grown into something we definitely never thought it would be when we were kids playing in high school. So I chose, of course, to be a bard because I feel like me being a comedian and my character being a bard kind of go hand in hand. Like it's really easy to play that character because I kind of know his struggles. I get what he wants out of life and like what he would naturally say in a certain situation because it's kind of it's how I feel. That's what I would do. So
And
it naturally fits together.
most definitely, well, it's like firebombing the city of Jacksonville. There were so many game rooms in that town. It's like you would like it's like heaven for you if you ever go to Jacksonville, and you'll see it. It's just
Okay,
amazing. Yeah, it's a
yeah, I
huge
haven't
D
been.
and D scene, magic scene, and so it's fantastic.
I gotta bring Dave through there. Like
Yeah,
he'll be in a Wonderland.
absolutely, most definitely, and it's like the largest land city land wise. So there's so many locations. It's gonna be a wonderland for you. And so you're also expertly navigating the Twitterverse on the Twitter Sitters podcast. And how do you link up with the Twitter Sitters podcast?
Twitter Sitters is me and one of my good friends, Bill Goodman. Um, he does music and he does like visual art and he dabbles in filmmaking, but we've kind of this years ago, like maybe a decade ago, we just kind of discovered that Twitter has a unique culture within it that like if you wanted to explain something that happened on Twitter, you kind of can't do it unless the person is ingrained in Twitter. Like there were so many like Twitter centric things that we wanted to discuss, and like we made a podcast about it. and we just called it Twitter Sitters. And uh, the fun part about the podcast is that that's the skeleton of it. Like that's the concept. Like that gives us an excuse to meet up and basically record ourselves hanging out and showing each other cool stuff on the internet. Like, but it's blossomed into live shows, other types of media. We've gone into some music actually. We linked up with a larger group of our friends called the Shropshire Collective, and we do um, music and videos, and I don't know, like it's another example of something starting as like friends hanging out and just messing around, and it blossoming into a bigger network of things that you wouldn't have thought of. And it's fun. I like it.
Indeed, that's great stuff. And having friends around and building each other up is like the best thing ever. And you also slang jokes all around the Gulf Coast. And what are your favorite places to perform stand up in the Gulf Coast?
Oh man, some of my favorite places to do stand up kind of aren't. You kind of can't do stand up there anymore, and for good reason, of course. But um, I miss doing Back Porch in Pensacola. That was always a really fun room. Right now, um, I'm the open mic host at the Alabama Music Box in Mobile, and that's a really fun venue to do. They have a really nice stage. Um, I miss Shizuko. I think that's in Pensacola too. They had a really cool mural in the background, and uh, I don't know, it had a really nice like low light adult jazz vibe in the seating area. It was a nice room, but I think they closed down. I think I heard that, which really sucked. I only got to do that room once, but um, haven't done anything cool in Mississippi. Oh, I did Ugly Dog. AJ's room it's a really unique room because there's this big like garage door where when they open it up, there's people on the outside that can view the show. Like it's a really unique stage setup, and I really like that room. AJ Bell out of New Orleans runs it. Yeah, that's some of the just peppered throughout the Gulf Coast. Some of my favorite places.
Indeed, most definitely. And you also landed the best local comedian nomination from the Lanyap magazine. And what was that like?
It was interesting. That was actually the first year that the Lanyap. I don't know if everyone's heard of the Lanyap magazine. Like a, it's based out of Mobile, but they have stories that range throughout the Gulf Coast. But they do um an annual awards recognition issue. We call it the Nappies, and this was actually the first year that they did a best comedian category. So I was really honored to be in that, like considered among the best comedians. So like that was an award in itself. So I don't feel like I actually had to win to feel the recognition. So I felt grateful.
Most definitely.
What year was that? God, I'm old. That was like 3 years
Indeed. And
ago. I'm
for
just
this show, I got selected. My one person slash superhero show got selected for the Orlando Fringe, and you got to. Oh, um,
oh wait, what was that? You cut out.
indeed. So you got selected. You got Godfrey Donald Rawlings and Orny Adams. I believe that's how you pronounce it.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
also featured on the Indie Fringe Festival. And what was that
Oh
like?
yeah, that was in. Hold on, I'm getting closer to my modem or my router. Let's see if my connection can be better. But yeah, that was in Pensacola, and uh,
Um,
there we
I'll put
go.
it in the chat. So, um,
There we go.
I'm not sure what's
Okay,
going on with my
yeah.
internet. It's like,
Oh, what's
okay.
going on? Did I mess up? Hello? Can you hear me?
Oh, Nell Rawlings and Orny. Can you hear slowing down on my end too? Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. All right,
As long as
nice.
yeah, as long as we get the audio, we're good.
All right, perfect. I moved closer to my router, so I think things can be smoother now.
Cool. But yeah, what was it like being on the Pensacola Indie Fringe and Comedy Festival with Gilbert Gottfried, Donnell Rawlings, and Adams?
Okay, so I didn't actually get to meet them, but I did get to like watch their sets and all that. Like I didn't actually end up going backstage and all that. But that was interesting. It was interesting performing in the same uh festival as Ashy Larry and like this guy. No, like I know how that sounded. Like no, he's a great like legendary comedian. Like, but that's what I mean. Like he's such a cultural icon to people, and I feel like people kind of don't really even real like even Orny Adams. Like it, I didn't realize when I watched Teen Wolf that that was the same guy that I'd seen do stand up before. Like it's so weird, like how these people are like weirdly ingrained in culture, and I don't even realize it that much. But like these people are like there in the same place. Like I do a show, and then walk down the street, and then they're starting their show, and it's like I'm kind of halfway rubbing elbows with these people. It made me feel good. I liked it. Like, it was a really fun festival. A lot of my um comrades, I get like my fellow comedian friends were in it, so it was fun for us all to be together back in the days where we could do that.
Awesome, fantastic. And you also played second in the 2019 Mobile Comedy Festival. And what was that whole experience like?
That was a really cool thing that Mobile got to do. Hold on, I'm gonna turn my phone like that. All right, that's easier on my hand. Okay, Mobile, we, I swear we didn't do it on purpose, but it feels like Mobile has two comedy scenes. Like there's like a more like black or urban, I guess you could call it, comedy scene, and then there's like a more like mostly white, multicultural, like alt comedy scene, which I guess you could say I'm a part of. But it was like representatives from each side kind of came together and were like, we're gonna put on this one big like comedy festival, like multiple venues, and there's gonna be a competition element to it. We're gonna do like shows over the weekend, showcasing everyone, and based on certain parameters like crowd interaction or crowd reaction, stage presence, stuff like that. We're gonna, you know, see who wins. Like we did a top three, and it was a really fun experience to just get everybody together and just give people their absolute A game. Like we are trying to do the best set of our lives tonight, and like that feeling was really healthy for us. Like those that were in it, I feel like never kind of never forgot it. Like it kind of changed us as comedians. Like it kind of showed us where our strengths and weaknesses were. So I liked it all around. We're actually doing another one in July of this year, or not July, August. Sorry, August of this year, and I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome, fantastic. And you know, I noticed that about the South, like even in Florida, everything's segregated between like the urban comics and then like the alt scene. Because I'm part of the alt scene, and it's like, it's and in Colorado when I started doing stand up, everyone was like one, and it's just like
Yeah,
it's trippy.
I
I never
I didn't know
expected
I
all
was
that
part of the alt scene.
segregation.
I didn't know. Someone told me that I was an alt comedian, and I was like, "Oh, cool." I don't know what that means. I thought I was just getting on stage and being funny. I thought, but I don't know. I don't know. It's a thing. It really is. Like I said, we didn't do it on purpose. I it's not like it's not like there's anything malicious behind it. I guess it's a difference in taste, like what you're into. Like funny isn't a monolith, just like race and culture, I guess. Um, I'd like to do more black rooms. I know there's a few in Mobile that I've just been depriving myself of because I don't know. I feel like low key, I'm kind of afraid. Like I feel like there's certain audiences that'll expose me as a bad, weak-willed comedian, and I'm kind of scared of that. So I don't know. I'll face my fear one day.
Indeed, most definitely. And Ryan, these are the questions I wanted to ask you because I wanted to go on tour and interviewing you in person. And so, Ryan, what inspired you to perform stand-up comedy?
Honestly, I was always a big fan of stand-up comedy, but I never saw myself doing it until my friends started to tell me that I should do it. They told me whenever I would tell them a story, they would always laugh or say like, "Oh, man, you should be a stand-up comedian or whatever." And I didn't really take them seriously that much because this sounded like a normal like compliment. But I was always a huge fan, and I remember I think it was Bill, my Twitter sitters partner, Bill Goodman. He expressed an interest in actually being a stand-up comedian, and we went to I think it was a coffee shop called Satori here in Mobile, and we saw a comedian who shall remain nameless. I have not seen him do comedy since, but he was God. I feel so bad saying this. He was so bad that that was the moment I feel like both of us decided. I can't speak for him, but for me, that was the moment I decided I think I can do this one day. Like I think I can do this if he can, if he has the bravery to get on stage and do what he just did. I can give this a shot, like for better or for worse. And I think it was actually years later that I actually nutted up and got on stage at the Blind Mule. And I think I remember some recordings I made of some of those first sets. They are terrible. And I think the mark of a true comedian, I guess you could say, like, is the fact that you can go on stage and suck the first few times and still want this and still hunger to go on stage and like try not to suck. It's a weird rite of passage.
Indeed, most definitely. And what was it feeling like when you first performed stand-up?
I don't remember. I blacked out kind of like I wasn't drunk or anything. It just I remember going on stage and coming off stage and my heart racing and having to like check the recording on my phone to actually like look into what I had said on stage because like it took me a while to get over that kind of like they say your name, you come on stage, and everything is just a blur, and I can't really get into it. That's how it kind of was when I started. Um, Literally the first time, I don't think I remember saying any of the stuff that's on the recording, or Like I don't remember it the way it's on the recording, which is so odd when I go back and listen to it. But that's something I had to grow out. Like I couldn't really get into crowd work or really paying attention to being in the moment until I got over that like blurry, like blackout feeling when I get on stage. So yeah, the first time was a really strange experience.
Indeed, most definitely. And what are your favorite comedy specials and comedy record albums?
Oh, well, of course I gotta say Kill 'Em Softly, Dave Chappelle. I think that's the one that I watched the most. I remember it was just on TV a lot, and I think I actually had a physical copy of it at some point in college or whatever. Um, Weird one, Eddie Izzard. Uh, there's three of them. I think my favorite one's called Definite Article. He, when I saw Eddie Izzard, I didn't know that you could do comedy that way. Like the way he would infuse like grammar and like weird, obscure history and just be hilarious. And that, I don't know, that inspired me a lot. Like I didn't know you could really do wordplay like that. Bill Hicks for uh, what's the name of the one? I don't know. I think it's called Revelation or something like that. But just for his, he sometimes it feels like he's not even up there doing comedy. He's just up there trying to save the world. It looks like, and I really like that. Um, yeah, he was crazy. Who else? Patrice O'Neill, Elephant in the Room was really good. That's that comedy you feel bad for laughing at. Like he's saying things that you know in your heart are wrong, but you you can't articulate it in your head. Like you can't logically argue what he's saying. It's a weird feeling. But that one was really good. What else? I know as soon as this interview's over, I'm gonna think back on this question and be like, why didn't you say this? Or like, why didn't you say this? But I'm like, I think I'm blanking right now.
Indeed, most definitely. It's all good. And some of those posts have been on TV and film, and I want to know your favorite sitcom, sketch shows, and comedy films are.
Um, okay, I have a really um unpopular, I guess, hot take opinion about a comedy movie. Uh, it's weird. Like you asked me what my favorite ones, and I want to start off by talking about one that I don't like. I hate Austin Powers. So like I'm just gonna say it right now. Austin Powers makes me so mad. I I don't understand it. Like love Mike Myers, love all the things he does. I hate this character. I hate him so much. Like I would make a podcast about how much I hate Austin Powers. Like I could go on for weeks, several weeks about this. But as far as what I do like, let's try to remain positive. Um, I really liked Half Baked. Um, that was one of the first uh like coming. I feel like I was coming of age around that time. Of course, because it's a pod movie, and I was young once, and that was so fascinating to me. Um, in the same vein, I think the hardest I've ever laughed at a movie was the scene in uh, Pineapple Express in the beginning, where they're in the army bunker with what is it, John Hader, I think his name is, and they're testing item 9 on him, but it's marijuana, and it is one of the funniest things I've ever. The first time I saw it, I don't know if I went back and saw it if it'd be that funny, but the first time I saw it, I could not breathe. I was laughing so hard. Uh, Monty Python, of course. I feel like every every guy, everybody of a certain age saw that movie and was like, this is going to shape my sense of humor for the rest of history. This when people ask me what I think is funny, I'm going to show them that movie. Like the scene when I don't remember exactly which night, but he's running up to a castle and you can see him like all the way in the distance and the drums are like rumbling and the guard at the castle's like watching him and like it cuts back to him and he's all the way in the distance and he's running and it cuts back to him watching and then it cuts back and the dude is immediately like right in his face swinging a sword. That kills me every time I see it. Oh man.
And sketch shows.
Oh, hmm. Okay. I don't know if it's considered a sketch show, but Wonder Chosen back in the day, I think it came on Adult Swim, was a real like that show blew my mind at the age that I saw it. It's extremely offensive. I would not recommend anyone watch it right now. It's one of the like if you saw it, you saw it. Like don't search it up now. Like it's not gonna be it's not the same. Like things have changed since that show was on. Wonder Chosen was cool. Uh, you know, I'm just gonna say it. Mad TV. Mad TV was hilarious. I'm just gonna fuck it. Like I liked Mad TV. Uh, what else? My mind is telling me to say Crank Acres, but I swear I did not like that show. I don't know. I don't know why my mind is doing that. I think it's just throwing things like just say this, see what happens. No, no, we're not giving Crank Acres any airtime. Ch- Chappelle Show. Dave got his money, so I can say Chappelle Show. Chappelle Show is great. Um, congrats to Dave Chappelle for sticking to his guns again and getting his money. Like continuing to show us that he will not be controlled. That's really cool. Um, I think I'm gonna do that thing again, where right after this interview, I'm gonna think of a show and be like, that was your favorite show, and you didn't even say that. But I think that's all I can remember right now.
Indeed, like my favorite ones from Crank Yankers are where either Tracy Morgan as Spoonie Love and Dave Chappelle when he booked the Wu-Tang Clan. That's those are my two favorites
Oh,
out of the whole
dude,
thing.
dude, Tracy Morgan as anything, like he just is funny. Like he could read the Bible to me and it would be hilarious. Actually, like that would be. I'm gonna see if I can get in contact
Indeed,
with Tracy Morgan and see if he can do an audiobook of the Bible. Oh, dude,
that'd be
don't
legendary for sure.
don't take that idea. I'm gonna work that out.
Most definitely, and also your favorite sitcoms.
Um, do animated sitcoms count?
Yep,
Okay,
they do.
King of the Hill was legendary. They keep saying I don't know. I haven't heard anyone say anything about it in months, but before people were saying that there was a remake or like a live action thing in the works, and I got so mad. Like King of the Hill is so perfect as it is. Like just let it live like that. Like I'm still watching it and figuring like seeing things that I didn't see before, and I've seen this show like a lot. So it's so deep with lore and so funny, and I don't I don't think I've seen a show like that since it went off the air. Um, live action. Living Single was as popular as it was. I think it was still underrated. Um, I liked Frasier. I feel like me and my brother were the only people we knew that liked Frasier. Uh, oh, what else? Malcolm in the is that a sitcom? Yeah, Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah.
I really like that. That was unique when it first came out. Uh, that was some must-watch TV in my household. Like we all felt for that family. Like we felt seen when we saw that family. So that was a fun sitcom. Oh, Mama's Family. That that was totally going to be the one where after this interview, I was going to be like, why didn't you say Mama's Family? I loved Mama's Family growing up. That was great. What was her name? The actress that played Mama. My mind was so blown when I found out that Mama was like a character. Like she wasn't actually old. It was like makeup in a wig. Like that blew
Carol
my mind
Burnett.
as a kid. Dude, she what was her name? On Eunice or something? Oh my god.
Carol Burnett. Carol Burnett was her name.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that
She's
show was
awesome.
crazy.
Indeed. And Ryan, if you can go on tour with any comedian locally and internationally known, which comedians would you like to go on tour with?
Okay, locally, I'm definitely gonna say Zeke Buckholtz, Carson Taylor, um, Jay Green, um, let me go outside of Mobile. I go on tour with what's his name? Jacob Craig. There's Craig Williams and there's Jacob Craig. Both of them I would go on tour with, but I'm trying to give out of town people a chance. Let me say if I could go on tour with Hannibal Buress, I think that would be fun. I think we seem like similar people because actually I saw um, some friends of mine. I wasn't actually there that week, but some friends of mine were at the Blind Mule. Excuse me, the Blind Mule in Mobile, which used to have an open mic at it. And this is years ago, but Hannibal Buress just showed up out of the blue. Like nobody knew he was coming. Like it wasn't a booked event. Like he was just in town, saw there was an open mic, and just showed up. And everyone's like, just that's fucking Hannibal Buress. Like what do we do? What do we say? Like do we say hi? What? And they said he just sat in the corner, or whatever, got his drink. Was kept to himself. Got on stage, did his set, killed, and just kind of like kept to himself. And I was like, I feel like I can match that energy. I feel like that'd be a really chill tour. Like nothing too crazy. Nobody's gonna get arrested. Nothing's gonna go like. There's not gonna be any crazy stories about tour or the hotel room or nothing like that. Like we literally go have a couple of drinks for the show, go to sleep, go to the next town. Everyone gets home safe. Uh,
And
who I want to say one more. Someone who I think is insane. I have a don't meet your idols uh rule with me because I feel like I'm always disappointed. So like when I'm not disappointed, it's like a pleasant surprise instead of like a disappointment. But I feel like if I went on tour with Eric Andre, let's make me, Eric Andre, and Hannibal Buress. That's the tour. Yeah.
that'd be a fun tour for sure. And same thing happened with us in Daytona Beach. Like Doug Stanhope just came to to the venue and did some stand up, and we were not expecting it. It was like the coolest thing. So it's awesome.
I,
So
I forgot to say Doug Stanhope when you asked me before. He was one of my big inspirations too. But yeah, it's always crazy to think like stand-up comedians are so. I have a phrase in my head like you do it till you die. Like I'm probably not ever going to stop doing stand-up comedy ever until I'm dead. And it's just crazy to see how you can reach these like unimaginable heights, like been in TV shows and movies and like had all these like super popular specials and still like feel the call to come to like an open mic in some random city just because like you just got to get on stage, like it's part of the process, you got to do it. And yeah, that's really wonderful to watch for me. It gives me
Indeed,
hope.
most definitely. Absolutely. And if you can get roasted by 5 comedians, past and present, which comedians would like to get roasted by?
I think uh, is it the same question to ask which ones I would not want to be roasted by? Like which ones I think would actually hurt my feelings? The ones that would be the best at it, I think, are the ones that I would want least to do it. So I think it's the same question. So I think I'm gonna go Anthony Jeselnik. He seems like one of those guys that just can get down to the core of you and really do some damage. Who else? Uh, I feel like those 85 South guys, if you've heard of them, they've been on Wild 'N Out. Those guys I feel like would make me cry eventually. Like I could take it for a while, like I could roll with it, but like maybe like 20 minutes in of just three dudes just ripping me apart, like I think I would break emotionally. Uh, who else? I feel like if Lewis Black just sat me down in a chair and just yelled at me in my face about all the things wrong with me, I feel like that would also break me emotionally. So I'm gonna go with him. Uh, who would just rip my heart out? Who just would? Yeah, I'm gonna put Doug Stanhope on that because yeah, he has this thing in his delivery where he'll just get on a roll and just start saying things. Like there's one joke he does where he talks about his mom dying actually, and there's like a series of insults he strings together about his mom that I think are like legendary. Like I don't want to try to deliver it right now because like I'm gonna not do it any justice. But I feel like if you unleash one of those about me in my face, the next step would have to be to fight. Like I don't. That's it. Um, and also I'm gonna go with. I feel like Maria Bamford, if she did her mom, the impression of her mom, and just used it for evil, that could be really powerful.
Indeed. And where do you see your comedy journey in the next 5 years?
Where do I hope? I see it. I'm gonna be optimistic. Given given that everything stays on path to not go off the rails like it did last year, I'll say I definitely want to get a tour together with my friends. I have not really for real gone on tour yet. I did like a little like 2 city thing, but that's not like a tour, like languishing in a hotel room kind of tour. Like everybody in the car hates each other kind of tour. Like I want to be on that. I would definitely want to get that out at some point in the next 5 years. Want to do an album. Like really want to because I have recordings I could stitch together, but I kind of want to make it like a whole experience, like put a show together, record audio, record video, release it, you know, do the whole nine. Like I want to do that at some point within 5 years. I feel like if I haven't done that within 5 years, something's wrong. Like I should be kicking myself for that. Um, those are the two things on the horizon that I feel like are my next two steps. Like I can't really see beyond that. Like that's where my focus is right now. Anything else beyond that, I can't foresee. I don't know. So that's my 5 year plan as of right now. It might not take 5 years, and I might not ever get any of that done. So we'll just have to see.
Well, I believe in you, Ryan, so you can do it.
Thank you.
And you're welcome, indeed. And Ryan, what other forms of comedy would you like to venture off into, like improv, sketch, comedy writing, acting, directing, etc.?
Um, I've 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 always said that I don't like uh improv, but I think what I'm really saying is I'm scared of improv. And yeah, I've never really indulged that much in improv, and I feel like it's it looks hard. It looks very difficult. Um, so uh, I think it'd be interesting as just like an exercise in growing as a comedian to just like throw myself in that because I never have before. Um, but I've done a little writing in the past, but I've mainly just kind of been focusing on just the stand up aspect right now. I'm trying to get my the amount of material I have to call on up right now. Um, that's been my focus lately. Also, just picking up like little skills that I can use to help out my career, like little video editing skills or like I don't know, trying to figure out social media marketing and advertising and stuff like that. The algorithm, trying to figure that out is a whole process. You know, that they could teach whole college courses about that. Um, yeah, just try to become a multimedia like a jack of all trades because I feel like that's what the move is right now. That's what smart people are doing. So if I'm not gonna be a smart person, I might as well try to copy smart people. So that's what I'm trying to work on.
Absolutely, indeed. And what is your favorite joke a comic has written?
Ooh, ooh. Okay, I'm not showing bias because he's actually my roommate. But there's a comedian in Mobile named Carson Taylor. He tells a joke about uh see it's my favorite joke because of how crazy it is to tell. Like it's a joke about black exploitation movies, and he has a part of the joke where he uses the word jack in like every possible interpretation or meaning, like rapid fire. And it was the first time I watched a comedian on stage and my head was spinning. Like it was the first time I saw someone do a joke and kind of made me not want to do this anymore. Like it kind of made me feel like I could never write something like that. Like the way he just like rattled off all of that. Like again, it's one of those jokes where I can point it out, but I can't deliver it because like I there is no way. Like I can't rap that fast if that makes any sense. Like I literally can't. So that joke blew my mind. That's a favorite in the race. And I have another one. It's actually that one's years old, but this one is actually recent. Craig Williams, a comedian I brought up before, he's actually a newer comedian out of Mobile, and he has a joke about Hillshire Farms, and it devolves. It's actually about like Amazon reviews, and it devolves into him performing us like a serial killer leaving a review of a Hillshire Farms like sausage patty, and it is diabolically funny. Like it's another one of those jokes that makes you quit. Like it makes you like, how did you even think of that? And yeah, that I think those two are my favorites that I've ever heard.
Indeed. We have some viewers in the audience, so if you'd like to jump into the live chat, you're more than
Oh,
welcome to. But be nice to us. I
Oh
always give them a
yeah,
fair
please.
warning.
I'm very sensitive.
Indeed. So, Ryan, what experience would you like your audience to take with them after a set is over?
Um, ultimately, I would hope that we as a crowd feel more connected to each other because like, hey, here's maybe 10, 15 minutes worth of things that we all related to and we all hopefully thought was funny and that we thought um I don't know, was interesting to listen to. So like maybe after that we come away with a little more understanding of each other. Like I feel like that feels deep and like cushy or whatever, but that's kind of like the big idea of my life. I feel like that's kind of what I want to like. If I was to die today, I would hope that I did work towards this, and it's that like, wow, I'm about to sound like a pothead. I'm just gonna be honest. Imagine, imagine the things that humans could do as just like if all of humanity just like put their minds like, hey, we're gonna go to this planet, and every single person on the planet was like, oh, I'm gonna help in my way. I'm gonna help in my way. Imagine the crazy shit we could do as a people. Like it would be insane. And I feel like if I could use what I do, which is comedy, which seems to not matter in the grand scheme at all, to help that, like maybe make people hate each other less, that would be cool. I would feel I would feel like maybe my life was worth it if I did that. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yep, it makes sense. Indeed.
Oh,
So,
thank you.
Ryan, as you know, this is show is called the Stand Up Speakeasy, and I reached out to you, but usually they have comics nominate comics. It's like a prohibition or the Roaring Twenties. It's a secret society of stand up
Oh,
comics, right?
okay.
So, if I can,
Like the Underground Railroad.
welcome to the club. Indeed. So if I can,
Nice.
may nominate future guests for the show, which is like comics from Alabama and Mississippi. I'm trying to put everybody on the map with this thing.
Okay. Definitely Zeke Buckholtz. He he's been doing comedy for a really long time. He's done comedy around the world actually. He did comedy in Vietnam, which I think will be fun to talk to him about. He was up in Seattle for a while. Um, who else? Uh, I'm thinking of who has like
Ryan, can
really
you repeat his name because
interesting.
it didn't come?
Oh, my bad. It's Zeke Buckholtz, Zeke. And oh man, it would be a challenge for me to spell his last name off the top of my head. Buckholtz, if that's any clearer. He would be interesting to to interview. He's got a really unique story. Um, who else? Who's got some interesting things to say? I would say Heather Hughes, but I feel no. It's over the internet. Doesn't matter. She moved out of Mobile, but I'm sure she still has a computer. She Heather Hughes. She's been doing it for about over a year, maybe two. I'm not really sure, but she's got a really unique story. Um, let me get one more. Let's go with Jade Green. Jayde Green. I think also with an E at the end. Um, he's a really unique guy that we've been doing comedy for about the same time, about 4 years, and yeah, it's just it. He's one of those people that never cease to amaze me. Like he'll just walk in and tell me something that happened, and I'm like, I cannot believe you're a real human being. So I think those three would be fun. So Zeke Buckholtz,
Awesome.
Heather Hughes, and Jade Green.
Sweet. I'll be sure to reach out to all those fine folks. And why did you choose Save the Music to raise funds for with this episode?
Oh, Save the Music. Oh, that gets deep to my soul, man. As a kid, me and my brother were super big into band and music and just anything performance art. Like I got super into professional wrestling as a result. Like I just liked people on stages like being talented like that. I got a real thirst for that from being in band, and I don't know. There's other really valuable things you get from participating in band, like in marching band. It was really good for fitness. I don't think a lot of people realize how much physical fitness goes into being in a marching band. It teaches you how to work together with people that you don't necessarily like or wouldn't really uh, have to work with otherwise. Um, I don't know. It's plus wouldn't it be such a much better world if every single person could clap on beat, like everybody could just do that. Like if we could make it a human evolutionary thing where humans just know how to clap on beat, I feel like we could do that through saved music. And I think it's messed up that when money starts getting tight at, you know, whatever institute, the school board or whatever, the first thing they look at to cut is the arts, and I feel like that's heartbreaking. That's a shame, and I think Save the Music is really gonna, or it has been for decades. Like we were talking earlier, like I remember when MTV was partnering with Save the Music and all that, like when we were kids. Um, like they chip away at that, and I think that's admirable. That's really cool. So I like them.
Indeed. I noticed the New Day shirt that you're wearing. So my favorite pro
Oh
wrestler of all time
yeah.
is Sabu from the ECW days. So who's
Oh
your
you.
favorite pro
Oh my
wrestler of all
God.
time?
Oh, before I say mine, for those that don't know, Sabu is a maniac. Like Sabu is one of the craziest real life human beings I've ever seen on a screen. Like, maybe second to New Jack. Like New Jack is a scary person. But my favorite, if I had to pick one, oh man, oh Ryan, you really got to get this one right. You're you're gonna be so mad at yourself if you don't say the right one right now. Uh, man, all around. All right, I'll give you two. I'll do this for myself. I'll do two. Right now, Xavier Woods is uh my my favorite right now. As far as like current people, like just all around as a human being, I like everything that he does. Like in the ring, on the side, like he just became the main host of the new like revamped G4 that they're coming out with. Um, all the things he did with the New Day, of course, like when Kofi won the championship and he like hoisted him in the air and he's crying, I'm crying, like it was perfect. But as far as back in the day, dude, Gold Dust, I did I didn't know that they would allow you to go on TV and do the things that Goldust was doing. Like Goldust was like it was a breakthrough for me. So I always had a soft spot in my heart for him. And then like he just like all of a sudden just became a really good comedy character. Like who knew this guy had like really good comedy chops? Like that was amazing to watch. Yeah, let's go with Xavier Woods and Goldust.
Indeed. When he got electrocuted and he was like, stuttering out of the blue, that got me every
Yeah,
time.
and I think he did that for the rest of time. Like he just had that forever.
Indeed. Like I love Sabu because like when he did that, barbed wire match with Terry Funk, and he cut his bicep
Oh
open.
my God.
He's like, "Give me the tape," and he wrapped it up. And then I saw him wrestle in my hometown, Colorado, and I made a sign that said, "Please sign my sign." And he was one of the wrestlers to come up to me and pose with me, like when he points to the sky. And I was like,
Yeah,
that was like, and he autographed it. And it was like the coolest thing ever. So it was rad. That's why I
man.
love Sad, because like beyond the ring. So it's like it's pretty cool.
And that's the crazy part because Sabu is one of those people that I feel like I could admire from afar because I feel like if I met him, like if I got in his face and was like, "Hey, Mr. Sabu," like he would be like rude to me. I feel that when I look at him, and to know like he's like a cool person in real life is that's what I mean. Like I set my expectations low. Like I expect that people that are good at things that I like are going to be bad people, so that when they're not, it's good. But yeah, I'd love to meet Sabu one day.
Heck yeah. And like he was so cool that he brought out RVD for me and the Sandman too. And it's like the coolest experience ever.
Oh
But
yeah,
I
dude.
loved it. Yeah. But it was like when
I,
WWE bought out ECW, but it was like, but it's still ECW to me when I got to meet those three. It was just like, man, those are the legends of
yeah,
ECW.
yeah. I'm actually
Indeed.
jealous that
Most
you got to see them.
it was a whole lot of fun for sure, indeed. And I also got to see the Vengeance pay-per-view when were in Denver, and like Undertaker was in his American Badass phase, and that was fun too. So
Oh
I
wow.
love wrestling, so those were the days. Like Kurt Angle, Brock Lesnar, and the Big Show was the main event of that Vengeance, and Vengeance they just passed up on NXT. So I follow that. Like I'm glad that you're a fellow wrestling fan too, and the comic. So it's just pretty gnarly. So
There should be more
and I
wrestling
watch it.
fans.
Absolutely, and be open about it. I'm
Yeah,
in my late
yeah.
30s. I don't care. I grew up on that stuff. It's like Ultimate Warrior, the Legion of Doom. I got
It's still
roasted, and I
good.
compared. Absolutely, my first comedy show was my roast, and I got roasted, and I compared everyone to like wrestlers. I went, Hulk Hogan before the steroids and or vitamins and stuff, and then I compared my other buddy to King Kong Bundy because he looks like him, and then
Oh
Ultimate Warrior
wow.
the day he died, and like the national disasters, and I just went in on it, and like all the jokes hit, and I'll send it to you. Like it's just
Okay.
it's like the most wildest roast you'll ever see, and I said
I
that's
need to
what I
see
want. It's
that.
like my first comedy show ever. I want to get roasted, and it was just fantastic. So make sure when you get roasted, you pick your friends on the bill too, and so all that stuff. So
Okay.
Ryan, thank you so much for being my guest today, and please follow Ryan on Instagram and Twitter, and donate to his Venmo, and donate to Save the Music. All the information is on the description box below, so you can just click on it and take it to all those cool sites and copy and paste if you have to. But do all those kind of things for Ryan and Save the Music. And with that being said, Ryan, are there any final words you'd like to give out to the audience at home?
Um, like I said before, try to hate each other less. That's it. And everything is funny. Just give it time. That that's it.
Awesome. You heard the man. So everyone else, be well, take care of each other, and be safe out there until we meet again on the Stand Up Speakeasy. I'm Srethne for Ryan D. Adams. I can't wait to see you performing live, no matter wherever that may be. And I'm so glad I got to meet a comic out of Alabama, and you're my first comic out of Alabama, so it's fantastic.
All right.
So,
Well,
ladies and
welcome to the
gentlemen,
state.
awesome, fantastic. Thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing you perform live on stage. I hear great things. Anna Lepley is, a fantastic person, and so that's our mutual friend.
Oh,
So
okay,
yeah, thank
cool.
you so much. And we'll see you on the next stand up speakeasy, everyone. Be safe and
All right,
like I said, take
bye.
care of each other. We all need that right now.